Hello and welcome to this edition of Startup Central. I'm Nayantara Rai. Today we're going to be talking about Meesho. It started off as a social commerce platform with a special emphasis on women resellers. It is now pivoting to become a direct-to-consumer e-commerce for Bharat. Its valuation has soared, or should I say zoomed, 2x from April to October. In April, it entered the Unicorn Club. Now, its valuation is almost $5 billion. Here's a conversation I had earlier with founder and CEO Vidit Atre. In April this year, we saw social commerce startup Meesho being minted into a unicorn after it raised about $300 million in a round led by SoftBank. In fact, that's how SoftBank entered the cap table. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Meesho is back with another big fat check from marquee investors. Its valuation is almost at $5 billion. To talk more about this is the co-founder Vidit Atre, who's joining us here on ET now. Vidit, you want to tell us the details? I believe the check size is almost $570 million.
Yeah, thank you, Nayantara, for having me on the show. We have great news from our side. So we have raised $570 million in the new round. We are valued at $4.9 billion, and we have raised this from Fidelity and BCAP. Our existing investors, which is Naspers, SoftBank, and Facebook, have also invested meaningfully.
Your valuation in April was $2.1 billion. That's how Meesho entered the Unicorn Club with a dhamaka. Okay, and now your valuation is $4.9 billion. Have you grown that much to justify such a massive valuation jump?
So we have, by the way, grown by 3x in the last 2 quarters. So our business, even at such a large base, has been growing very rapidly on both sides, which is consumers, sellers in the platform. And I think that reflects in our business growing by 3x in such a short span of time. So yeah, I think if you look at it from that perspective, our valuation hasn't grown that much.
In 5 months, you've raised about $870 million. Vidit, what are you doing with all of this money and this capital?
Yeah, I think capital chases opportunity, right? And the kind of opportunity we have as Meesho is massive. Our potential market is to serve 1 billion people in India and to become like the single place they will come and buy everything. So we say our vision is to enable 100 million small businesses in India to succeed online. And if you look at it, we are still very, very far away from that vision. So we are happy that we now have like more than enough capital in the bank to kind of go after that vision with very, very high aggression and tenacity. And that's what we will keep focusing on.
You've been pretty vocal about this, that you want to serve 1 billion people in India. That is your target. How far away are you from that aim?
So I can tell you today, on every single day, 5% of all Indian households open Meesho app. Right? So I think we really feel proud of that particular fact, right? That particular insight that we have penetrated so deeply into the country. And to me, it's just the beginning, right? Like we're just at the beginning of what we can eventually do, the kind of categories we can add, the kind of use cases, the kind of problems we can solve for all our users. I think it's just the beginning. So I think so far we have come a long way. And this is one of those milestones to celebrate everything that we have done together over the last few years. But we are very inspired and excited by everything that we will do over the next few years because the opportunity is so large.
The opportunity is absolutely massive, and credit must be given when it's due, which is that when someone talks about social commerce in India, the first startup, the first unicorn that comes to anyone's mind is Meesho. And maybe recognizing that, you also saw Facebook's first check ever in India being given to Meesho as well. How is social commerce doing in India? You're saying you've almost grown 2x, 3x in the last couple of months. There are others that might have been trying to imitate you. How will you stay ahead of the curve?
We will stay ahead of the curve the way we have stayed ahead of the curve so far, right? Like if you look at us and the second big or the third big social commerce company or any company which is going after this audience, right? Like we generally don't like social commerce is a tag where people box us. But if you look at this sector, the kind of customer we're going after, we are, I think, by far the market leader. And we have done that by just focusing on our customer better than anyone else, right? Like we take pride in understanding our customer really well. We started this business with a very simple insight, right? Again, and that's the most powerful insight on which we have built this business, which is there are about 500 million people who are active on social platforms in India like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and so on, and only about 100 million people who buy anything online. So we said, can we leverage these social platforms to get to the next e-commerce customer? And that's what we started with, and we've been able to double down faster than ever. So I think we just understand this customer much better, and we will continue to kind of work towards building products for them that really solve hard problems for them. And if we keep doing that, I think we will continue to stay ahead. We will continue to be the market leader.
You say you understand your customers better, your platform, your products is tailor-made to them. Tell us how. Give us an idea. You're saying 5% of households in India are logging on to Meesho every day. What is so unique about Meesho?
Yeah, so let me start with all the unique stuff about us, right? Like, as I said, our unique go-to market. Like, how do you reach this customer that everyone else has face to reach? I think that was the biggest problem we did, which was how do you get to this customer, which was so hard. The second, I would say, one big problem that we had to solve for this customer base is the shopping experience. So the conventional shopping experience for tier one customers like you and me has always been that search on a website, search on an app and find what you want to. If you go to the next billion customer in India, that's not how they buy, right? They are more browser-led, like they like to browse things and then decide. They can't express in words what they exactly want. We see a lot more people do image search on our app than people do text searches. We see more people essentially spend their time in browsing the app than going and searching these products, right? So building shopping experiences, which is very different and very catered to this particular audience, again, is what we solved for. And this is like one of the examples on the demand side. If you look at the kind of problems we have solved for smaller businesses, how do you build a mobile first native product, which makes it extremely easy for the smallest of business in India to come online, right? Again, we have crafted the kind of tools we need to provide to these small businesses so it becomes easier for them to come online. And we are proud of the fact that like very, very small businesses who never ever came online before us have been able to come online, make significant amount of their total sales online because of us, right? So I think a lot of industry first products have been built across the board, be it for the consumers, be it for our Meesho entrepreneurs, be it for our small businesses. And I think that's what essentially has worked in our favor. We just have done this before anyone else, and we have done it at a pace that no one could match before us.
Vidit, if you look at most of the unicorns or startups, and the trend is now maybe beginning to change, but a lot of them are basically catering to what? The same 10 to 20 million internet users, right? Because they were the ones, the niche, part of the 1%, blah, blah, blah. You're trying to change that. And like you said, their consumer behavior is different. Tell us more about that, because you're one of the best people to check on ground with what's happening in the small towns, the kind of buzz that actually exists.
Yeah, so, and I think we have seen this again because of multiple reasons, right? So if you look at just 3-4 years ago, most of the people in small towns and cities were primarily offline. They were not online. And then because of two big inflection points that happened in India, one was Geo, because of which, again, data prices crashed and hundreds of millions of people in India came online for the first time. And now, because of the pandemic, like you look at what has happened in the last 1.5 years, like people who resisted learning something new, resisting like figuring out how to come online, buy for the first time. I think all of this was very new to a lot of these people, and they have come online just in the last 1.5 years. And we see them, right? Like a lot of these people have never bought anything online. So we see, if we look at over the last 12 months, more than half of our total customers who have come to our app for the first time over the last 12 months have never bought anything before they came to our platform, right? So we were like the first experience of online shopping ever. And their problems, hence, are very different from the kind of problems you and I face. They do not know how do they trust a particular product before they can make a purchase. They do not know whether they should trust the platform. They are not sure of what a button like an add to cart does. They're not sure about what kind of policies are there that will help them safeguard their money. So I think there are lots and lots of questions for them. And we see this again and again because these guys are experiencing e-commerce or commerce for the first time online. I think their problems are very different, and that's what we've been solving for them, right? Like that, this is what we have been seeing, which is very, very different, and that's what our focus area has been.
Okay, so you're saying you were responsible for their first online shopping experience, which you have tried to make it different because, like you were saying, they don't look for products. They say, I want this kind of a sari, I want this kind of Tupperware, blah blah blah. What about the shopping cart size? How has that been evolving? Once you get them hooked and there's stickiness, does that go up?
Yeah, it does, right? If people have a lot of trust issues on day one, what is an expected behavior? You'll buy the smallest thing. You'll not invest a lot of money, right? Because you don't know whether a great product will come, not come, what will be the quality, and so on. So people try with the smallest amount and they see what the experience is, then they will try you again. And when they've bought with you like a couple of times, they start to build more and more trust for the platform, which means they will give you a lot more share of their wallet spend. They will start to buy bigger items, more expensive items. So I think it's a trend that we have seen again and again. And that's why just bringing them online with the right experience for the first few orders is so important. Because if you fail to build that trust, nothing follows after.
Okay, so and then the shopping cart size goes up. You're not telling me how much, but the last time I spoke to you, Vidit, I remember you very clearly telling me you were going to add new categories. Meesho, of course, started off when you and your co-founder saw this pattern among your family members about exchanging blouse styles, etc. on WhatsApp. What are the popular categories? What are the new categories you're adding?
Yeah, so over the last 1 year, I think we have become a pure horizontal platform. What I mean by that is you name a category and it is selling. So just in the last 4 months, we've added categories like sports and fitness, pet care, right? Automotive. So a lot of these things have been added on the platform because people are buying everything. We used to earlier only focus on women products and women categories. Over the last 1 year, we have also focused on kind of getting men on the platform, and they're also growing really, really fast on the platform. And by the way, apart from that, we have everything, be it in fashion and lifestyle. So we are a pure horizontal platform, like one destination for customers to come and find anything they want to buy and then make that purchase. Now, the biggest category block, I would say, that we did not have was your daily essentials, was your grocery categories. And that's what we launched at the beginning of this year. And so far, it has been growing at a decent pace. And we plan to very, very aggressively invest behind this, because if we really want to get a very large share of the wallet spend of a customer, grocery has to be there, right? Like it is one of the largest spends for our customer base. So I think that's again a priority for us for the next 1 year, and it will continue to be. But in the long run, we are very clear. We want to be that one single destination for the consumers to come and buy everything that they need.
Vidit, I remember very clearly reading this Bernstein report recently that within e-commerce, the largest opportunity actually exists in e-grocery, and the penetration is less than 0.5%. But since then, we've also seen the mushrooming of biggies in the grocery space, right? And convenience grocery seems to be the buzzword. So from your Swiggy to a Grofers, which now has Zomato behind it, to a Geo, to an Amazon, to big basket owned by Tatas, everyone is betting on this. You're also betting on this. Is the market really that large enough? And then will you be able to do convenience deliveries, which I basically mean, 15 minutes to half an hour?
So by the way, our customer segment doesn't want convenience delivery, right? Like they're not looking for a 5-minute or a 10-minute or a 15-minute grocery because that is expensive. And the kind of segment we serve care a lot about prices. They are willing to wait for a day if you can give it to them. So when we talk about grocery, we are not building convenience grocery. What we are building is we are building an online grocery experience that meets their needs of getting good quality products at very, very low prices, which is really, really important. And you are right, like companies all over are investing towards grocery because grocery strategically is a very, very important segment. If you really want to go deep into the wallet share of your customers, you need to own grocery. But if you look at it, most people have been focusing on grocery generally in the tier 1 or the larger cities. No one has focused or cracked grocery as such for the smaller town cities. And that's where we are focusing on, because that's where our core customer lies, right? Like the next billion customers are in smaller town cities, and that's where we are focusing on. And I think so far we have been able to innovate and iterate on a product that really works economics wise and works in terms of the kind of customer experience that people expect.
But in the smaller towns, the Kirana is also the king. The Kirana is the king pan-India. Now, that's maybe why you're also seeing the Jios and the Amazons of the world onboard them, right? On their own platform, Amazon's giving them discoverability also, Flipkart's also doing it. So in smaller towns, will you need to change the behavior as well, where they will want online delivery of groceries, and that too, not even at, in 15, 30 minutes?
We are seeing that happen already, right? By the way, we've always built a tech platform where we are able to partner with existing businesses, existing small businesses. As I keep talking about, small businesses is at the heart of everything that we do. Our vision is aligned around them. Our mission is aligned around them. So even when we go to these small town cities, we partner with a lot of these Kirana shops to become our champions on the ground, who help bring customer awareness. They do last mile logistics for us. So we really partner with them to make sure we are able to provide them another income opportunity to really make them entrepreneurs on our platform. So that's what we're doing. But we're already seeing that people are changing their customer behavior because they're already buying a lot of other categories online on the Meesho app. So they want to buy categories beyond fashion lifestyle, which is available. They also want to buy categories in grocery online, and that's what we're able to offer here. So I think that's going to happen everywhere. You see everywhere in the world, more and more of groceries moving online. And I think in India, it will happen. It will happen in tier 1 cities. It will happen in the tier NH cities. And that's what we want to enable.
Okay, and then we're going to get you back in ET now to talk about how this segment grows. But Vidit Atre, it's a big day, a big check of $500 million. You've taken $870 million from the private markets. You're saying you're growing at 2 to 3x. So big congratulations to you and your entire team. Look forward to more interviews.
Thank you, Nandara. Thank you.